Congrats to George Washington on their season. I think that's a really talented team, really well coached. Thought we played well today, which we felt like we needed to do. Excited we get a chance to get Da healthy and that he's not going to end on a flu bug. So I thought our guys just played really well tonight. Pretty complete performance. So pleased with that.
Dayton's illness, does it have anything to do with food poisoning?
No.
It's no chili cheese fries, just to clear up any rumor.
Nope.
In his absence, Uriah, it's not the first time he's done it, but Uriah was just getting all the praise from their coach about how he just controlled the game. Another 6 assists, 0 turnover kind of game. Can you talk about Uriah's? I know where he was about a month ago, but it seems like he's even elevated that the last couple of weeks. Can you talk about where he is right now running his team?
Yeah, he's playing great basketball. I want to say that's like four out of five where he's had 6+ assists, and in those four he's had one turnover. So I don't know what the totals are because he's probably had something like 28 assists to one turnover in 4 of the last 5 games. And I think it's just like that playmaking showing up. Like he's such a natural scorer. Like his playmaking showing up, I think, is a real sign of his comfort level, and just like the way he's seeing the game. And I just thought he was in total control, and he plays both ends of the floor. Big time performance for him when we needed one without Dayton, and I thought he was great tonight.
Their big man, you said, might be as good, if not the best, at least one of the two probably best big men you guys faced all year, and he has pro potential, obviously. I'm curious if that was what you expected when you guys emphasized post defense, and he only gets 3 shots up.
Yeah, we're pretty aggressive, like trying to bring help to the. He didn't get any one-on-ones in the post. I thought our guys did a great job. Like when we keep the ball screen down, they play through the short roll a lot. I think he had 7 turnovers, and several were on that type of play where our activity showed up. Guys really did a nice job of anticipating it, executing it, making plays on the ball. So I thought he had a difficult defensive night, and our bigs did a nice job staying below him, because if you get above him on the roll, like he's such a lob threat, he's going to get some easy ones. And, they don't take many mid-range. They're kind of rim and 3 pretty exclusively. And so when we were able to stay below his role, and those guys just sort of kept their drives, you could see them. They got some depth, but they didn't take the shots. And then, we were able to get some turnovers off that traffic. And but I thought that was a big part of just our guys' execution to float to the basketball, not allow him some of those easy short roll opportunities. And then we brought a lot of help in the post, so he didn't get any one-on-ones.
That's part of the answer to this last one I have is you kind of beat them at their own game. The points in the paint were 36-16. That was the lowest of the year for them. Second chance points was 15-3. I know they're a really good offensive rebounding team. They weren't able to get much going inside. It wasn't just him. It was nobody else really either. Does that surprise you that you were that lopsided in those two stats, 36-16 in paint and 15-3 in second chance?
No, because we played well, and we feel like that's part of our game too. When you know what I mean, like beat them at their own game, but like we feel like that when our best basketball includes that stuff.
Coach, you get one last chance to play in this building with a chance to go to Indianapolis for the Final Four. What's that mean to you?
Yeah, we're just excited to keep playing. It means we're not done. We always love the opportunity to play here. Last one here on the season. Whoever it is, we're going to get a great opponent in here, and so hopefully Lobo Nation shows up and supports these guys. They're playing good basketball. They're still competing at a high level, and they're fun to watch right now.
And we asked our coach if altitude had a factor at all, because second game in a row we really worn down an opponent. Do you think just that kind of got to him?
Yeah, it might have. I don't know. I feel like they've been at altitude for a while now, so I don't know if they sort of settled in or not, but. Yeah, you could see them in the first half. They looked a little fatigued, and then, but we had a short rotation too. I thought our different guys were getting fatigued at times. Jake and Uriah played a ton of minutes, and I took a full time out there with like 9 to go just to try to get us a breather. And I thought Uriah was a little winded, but he was playing really hard for a long time, and we didn't get him a lot of breaks. So yeah, I think it affected everybody. We want that to affect teams that come in here. Whoever comes in next, I hope it affects them too, and we try and wear them down.
And then Timeo, then he gets a chance to play. I think kind of had to have been one of the first times all season he's played in the first half that early. Just talk about his role, and I know DA's not in the lineup, but just talk about him having an impact.
Yeah, just really impressed with his, readiness, and I thought like the thing that he did so well is when he came in the game, he played really hard and you could feel it, right? He brought energy, he brought some fire and urgency to it, and he just played hard. And even in the first half where he didn't score, he made some plays defensively. I thought he played the right way, good decision making, loved his shot selection. He got on the offensive glass, he had a block. Just his activity was terrific.
Coach, it seemed like the difference in the game was the start of the second half. You guys had a 12-2 run to start the second half after a 36-32. Can you just talk about what you guys did defensively to really cause that disruption?
Yeah, we got some stops. I think twice in the second half we had 6 stops in a row. I want to say that probably happened early there when we got the separation. So a couple turnovers that led to points. Jake got a little bit of volume there in that spurt. Anytime he gets shots up, those are positive possessions for us. So, yeah, it was defense to offense and then some shot making, and we took control there to start the second half.
You guys shot 3 of 12 from the 3-point line in the first half, then you go 8 of 15 in the second half, and then in the second half you guys are 1.5 points per possession. It seemed like that just really kind of opened things up for you guys offensively.
Yeah, I thought we played well. We mostly took care of it. We felt like the shot quality was pretty good in the first half. There's always going to be some of that variance. We believe in these guys shooting the basketball. So, and Joel had some good looks that didn't go. And, I've never had to wear a mask, but, that's tough. So, yeah, I mean, it's hard, right? Like, we came out of the first one, Joel has a facial fracture, DA's sick. It's a little bit of a war of attrition here in this thing. And our guys are still fighting, so appreciate them for that.
Anything else for Coach? One last one.
On the Joel injury, you said facial fracture. What is it, like cheekbone? Is it something that's going?
I'm not sure exactly where it is, so I don't want to give you bad information. But he had like a vertical at the rim in the Sam Houston game, and they hit heads. He didn't think anything of it, and then like he had after the fact next day he had a ton of swelling and some stuff. So he's in the mask. Feel bad for him. Feel bad for TA. Like we're down the stretch. These guys are fighting to keep playing, and I know they want to be out there. So
since it is Sunday night and we're talking a possible turnaround of just 48 hours, is DA for sure? I mean, I guess you don't know anything for sure, but like, do you expect DA to be back on Tuesday?
I mean, I don't know how he'll feel on Tuesday, but that guy's wearing sunglasses to play. Like I feel like he'll do anything he can to get out here. I think the fact that he's not here says a lot about how he feels, because he's been doing everything in his power to stay on the floor. So I know that he's legitimately very sick, or he would be here.
When Timeo gets in, I'm curious what the rest of the team feels like when you guys see him getting some first half minutes.
Oh, it's great. It's harder when he usually doesn't get in the first half, so we always got to celebrate for him,
Timeo, all right, you get big minutes in a game that's win or go home. Were you a little nervous tonight, knowing you were going to get a little bit bigger role?
I wasn't nervous. I was just excited to finally going.
All right, I've seen you green light it every time you get in all season long. And tonight, though, you were patient. Your coach was just talking about how you were playing hard and all that. I'm curious, were you a little tempted, though, to just start firing and gunning up threes when you got in?
I mean, usually I go in like in the last 2 or 3 minutes, so I just shoot the ball as many as I can. But I had some real minutes tonight, so I had to play like more real basketball.
All right, for either one, I guess you're roommates with DA, right?
Yeah.
DA not being here, coach is saying the guy's playing with sunglasses. Like, he obviously wants to play, so he must be really sick. I'm curious if you can shed any light. I'm not looking for specifics, but like we're talking pretty sick. Did he want to come play this game tonight?
He tried to, but was told to sit home. Don't try and force it. So.
Timeo, get in and you have a chance to visit with the media. What's it like to actually be in here visiting with us after a game?
It's fun.
Like your pregame routine, how much does it change? Like when did the coaches come to you and say you're going to get some minutes tonight? And when they told you, how does that change your routine before the game?
My routine never changed. I always do the same thing before the games. Don't matter if I play or not. Just like the coach came to me, I think 10 minutes before the game and told me to stay ready. So
nervous at all?
I was a little bit excited. So of course nervous a little bit, but once I'm on the court, nothing.
Timeo, like you said, most of the time when you go in, it's the final 2-3 minutes of the game. When's the last time you played like meaningful minutes before today?
I played a little bit against Air Force.
Yeah.
A little bit against during the preseason against Highland.
Sure. But I mean, like, I guess back in France. Like,
It was last summer with the Team France at the World Cup.
Yeah. What did it feel like, man? Just being out there in meaningful
Felt
minutes,
good.
having to play defense, not being in garbage time. How did it feel?
It feels good. I want it. That's why I play basketball.
You do.
Tajavis, tonight you guys were very balanced. 4 guys in double digits. You had 10. Just shed light on how you felt about your performance.
Felt pretty good. We got the win, so that's really all I really care about.
You get one last chance to play in this building on Tuesday night, and then for the chance to go to the Final Four. I know you're nearing the end of your college playing days. What's kind of going through your mind with that?
Just try and find a way to get one more game in, I guess, Just try and keep the career going.
Either one of you, Uriah, especially DA's absence. Uriah's kind of been doing it for 3, 4, 5 games now. Uriah really controlled the game, got praise from their coach about how he was just controlling the game, 6 assists, no turnovers. Can you talk about Uriah and how he's sort of, these last 2 weeks especially, kind of taking the next step?
It's really been big for us, I'd say, with, DA being out a little bit and him having to step up in that point guard role. And, him being a freshman, that's a harder thing to do. So I say I'm proud of him for that. And I think he just set a freshman record for steals, too. He just got that.
Yeah, correct.
So.
Did not know that. Thank you.
Yes,
You
sir.
should be the sports information.
I mean, it's funny to me, like, with all the great freshmen there are in college basketball this year, and there are so many of them, I don't think anybody's really talking about these 3 guys, how good they are. I don't know that I can remember, and I've coached, high major basketball and mid-major basketball. I can't remember 3 freshmen as good as Hall, Tannett, and Buljan. I know Buljan's a little bit older, but a little bit more experienced in Europe, but I can't remember it. I can't remember 3 freshmen this good, especially in this day and age when, people talking about the transfer portal and how old people are. It's impressive that those 3 guys are here and how good they are. And so obviously everyone should cherish them and do whatever they can to keep them here, because those guys are going to have special careers if they stick around. So with that, again, I'm disappointed in our group because we played so many competitive games against teams in the top 100 in difficult environments. St. Louis, Dayton, VCU, Florida, South Florida on the road, away from home. We played so many of those games, and this was probably our worst one. Now, Garrett Johnson winds up getting hurt in the layup line, so we didn't have him. So we had 7 guys, and I think that altitude plus only 7 guys. Tyrone Marshall gets in big foul trouble, so you're really playing 6 for the first, kind of 25, 27 minutes of the game. It was really challenging for us. I felt like we just felt small out there with the front court being either out or in foul trouble.
You guys are obviously a team that one of the best offensive rebound rates against the Lobos this season so far.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious, they ended up with 15 second chance points to your guys' 3. They kind of, I guess, a little bit got you your own game a little bit.
No, I think we're just a little bit small today with Marshall's foul trouble, with Luke Hunger being out, with Garrett Johnson being out. We were pretty susceptible on the backboard, I thought. On the defensive backboard. And again, we were good on the offensive glass because we send a lot of guys, and obviously Raphael was pretty good there. But again, I felt, our 2-point shooting percentage is a good judge. We're a good offensive team, and we couldn't really get. And again, to their credit, they blocked 6 shots. I thought they affected others and couldn't really get to the free throw line much, and couldn't convert from 2. So I thought their size was a real factor, as well as how good Tannett is and controlling the game.
That follow up on that, you talked about the freshmen. You gave them their flowers, and we know Thomas Albuquerque is a great rebounder. We know Jay Call's a great shooter. Uriah Tannett was the only point guard tonight because Dayton came down 6th. Their other starting point guard. The poise for a true freshman at 5'11",
terrific.
At 5'11", can you speak to that?
No, terrific player. I mean, his pace, he's different than there's a kid Albright in our league at Richmond who's a freshman that they were both like the 2 top scoring kind of under 6 foot freshmen in the country. Albright's a really good scorer. This guy controlled the game in a way that, again, he's terrific. He's a really, really, really good player. And he's good on both ends. He's even though he's not tall, I think he's put together pretty well physically. He can navigate screens on a high level. We couldn't really get great edges on him. Luke Hunger's probably our best screener. I think if I had a Luke, we would have tried to lay some wood on him with Luke, to try to hit him a little bit more on those screens. But he's really a good navigator of screens.
Coach, you talked about not having depth at the post position. You're big. Rafael Castro, 6 points, 14 rebounds,
Yeah.
only 3 shot attempts. What
Yeah,
are you
they-
going to do to take him away?
Yeah, they double. They kind of soft double. So as he's going to the lane, the guys there, not maybe it's not as an aggressive double, but they're sort of sitting there in the paint for when he gets into the paint. And again, I think having to play the amount of minutes, 33 minutes tonight, and I tried to get him out in spots, almost 34. They were making him work. I think both of those guys, Rock and Bullion, were kind of, really making him work in transition. And again, he didn't have it tonight offensively. They also they load up on those short rolls, and so we tried to tell him the long roll a little bit more, and he was able to maybe get a basket or two that way. But they did a good job of sitting in the paint.
Coach, a lot gets said about this arena that the altitude eventually gets to teams a lot. Just talk about the impact.
It may have. I thought maybe the game was out of reach maybe at that point when I thought it maybe started to get to us a little bit. But again, having 7 guys, and it probably was a factor to some degree. But great environment here for the NIT. It was again, the first half was super competitive, fun to play. And I thought we got a steal that we didn't come up with the first possession of the second half, and that was kind of a bad sign to start the second half. But again, I want to give them credit. I think those guys are really good.
Just talk about the road trip you were on to end the season. You're out in this part of the country.
Yeah.
Probably part of the country with some of these guys we've never seen.
Yeah, I'd actually never been to Utah or New Mexico in all my travels. So obviously great to be here. I've heard so much about it, watched the pit on television. Great to experience it and the people. And then obviously enjoyed Utah a little bit more because we won. We were able to stay out there. But, I know how much people love basketball here, and it's evident. And it's a wonderful environment, and an honor to compete here.